Welcome to the iRacing Skip Barber series, the final race of the season. We're here at Interlagos for round 12 and the drivers are just getting started with their qualifying session right now. Glad to have you with us as we round out yet another Skip Barber series right here on BSR TV. I'll be calling the shots this evening, Chris Cohen, and in a moment you're joined by a rather croaky Matt Dalton, who is going to do his best to stay with us during the commentary, but commentators are often best voiced by people with strong voices, and that's not the case with Matt this evening, so we'll see how he gets on. Let's have a quick look at the scores, because the championship has been wrapped up already by Mark Mercer. Last week we were saying that the championship was won by Mercer at round 11, and it was round 10 in actual fact. We hadn't taken into account the drop scores, so Mercer's already long wrapped up this championship, right at the top there. You can see he's 43 points clear of Blake Townend in second, who doesn't appear to be racing this evening, so he's given up on the championship at this stage. Savidovic is out there in third place, so hopefully some more points for him this evening. Hamilton down there in fourth, Streetley fifth, Maycock is in sixth place, and Tom Ward, who we saw get tangled up with Rob Burton last time out, is in seventh place. A spinning Rob Burton cost Ward a few more points than he would have liked last week. Stuart Adcock as well in a similar situation back at the Infineon Raceway, Sonoma. Rob Green in ninth. The other Adcock, Tim Adcock, in 10th place. Sebastian Jobe and George Lambert share 11th. I wonder what it will come down to at the end of this particular race to see which one of those can grab the 11th spot, or if one of them in fact could get into the top 10. George Lambert been plugging away all season. Jobe has had race victories this season as well, but rather inconsistent, at least more so than he would have liked. Cowan 13th, Rapston 14th, O'Leary 15th, and Clark Williams is in 16th place. That is how the second page of the scores look at the moment. Now, for Dave Grunhill, he had to retire from the championship very early on in the season, is still there by merit of scoring 22 points, is still there in 27th place alongside Bobby Bramley and Robert Plumley. And Plumley runs his own stream on board, which you can go and watch on Twitch TV. He should be broadcasting right now if you prefer that over this, or you can catch up with that later. He uploads everything to his YouTube channel as well. Jamie Bird, Simon Hulbert sharing 30th place, and you can see that the other Simon Povey, who is the other half of the SS Racing team, is only in 19th, and they were doing very strongly last season, but they didn't decide to enter this championship until a little bit later on, which is why they're playing catch up on points a little bit. The team championship going into the final round looks like this. It's pretty much sewn up for PH Racing, although PH Racing only have a 49 point advantage over Racing Game Show, and PH Racing now consists of just the one driver, so it's only Mark Mercer out there representing. Grillo has withdrawn from the championship, so it's a one-man team, and Rapston and Savidovic, Big Wodge and Little Wodge, as Matt Dalton likes to call them, are in with a shot, Matt, of getting that first place in the championship. Only 49 points.
So providing one of the Wodges does for Mark Mercer, it's all on.
Well, they both need to finish 30 points for a win here, so they both need to finish, and pretty highly, and Mercer would have to fail to score more than 11 points, which seems a little bit unlikely, but you know, we've seen stranger things in this particular series. GR Legends there, the top GR team in third place. Friction Racing having a great season. That's O'Leary and Hamilton there in fourth place. Club 100 Racing, the highest placed of the Club 100 teams, is in fifth. Radicals, which only consisted of Blake Townend this season, so a terrific job to get to sixth for a one-man team. Ninja Racing seventh, Warnell Racing eighth, again just a one-man team in the form of Tom Ward now. And the AAA Racing team share ninth with the other GR team there. That is GR Masters. The rest of the results up on your screen. It's good to be back at Interlagos, isn't it? It seems like a nice place to end the season, Matt.
If you say so, Chris.
Although it is quite a large track for these, well, these tiny open wheel races. The lap times are running in the 153s. Let's have a look. Top time should be in the 152s, and they are, in fact. Let's bring those positions up on your screen right now. So O'Leary actually holds pole position at the moment for Friction Racing. Great job there, and Peter Cowan slips into second. Only had 6 minutes of the qualifying session so far. Chris Simpson as well, not a name we're particularly accustomed to seeing in the top 5, and neither is Steve Hefford. No offence to either of those guys, but putting in some good laps.
Steve Hefford ran some pretty good lap times in practice too. I was so I can't be asking him if he was feeling a bit airsick being up at that kind of altitude on the scoreboard for once. But Friction Racing boys all run in line astern, which is interesting to see. You've got Marcus Hamilton, Tom Ward, and Thomas O'Leary all running in the same place, helping each other out with the draft. So good bit of teamwork going on from those guys there, and it's paying off for them so far.
Now our info indicates that Tom Ward is part of Warnell Racing, but he is wearing the Friction Racing livery, so is that a last minute change? Could be.
Could be. He's certainly wearing the livery, isn't he?
He is, yeah, although I thought the season operated on a two-man team policy similar to the Formula 1 regulations, but well, you know, never know, maybe we can ask one of them.
To be fair, half the field appears to have Club 100 colours on them, so I'm not sure it really makes any difference in terms of the colours.
Now, Bollock Bassi, whose name I knew I'd struggle with before the broadcast. Is it Sem or Kem?
Kem Bollock Bassi.
We'll go with that. Is just dropped down to 6, in fact.
No, I asked him earlier.
Oh.
I was aware of the particularly challenging nature of the pronunciation, so I checked with him.
Well, when I asked the other guys, of course, they gave me a rather rude pronunciation, which we won't repeat on BSR TV, but it's Sem Bollock Bassi, is it?
Kem.
Kem, I do
Kem
think
anyway. So he said.
But anyway, he's
Unless
down
I
to
misheard,
10th,
it's possible.
11th now, in just the time that it's taken us to to pronounce his name, or taken me to pronounce his name correctly. So sorry about that. You've lost 5 places in the meantime. Mercer up to 5th. This is the first entry from Mark Mercer. Looks pretty strong. He always does well at Interlagos, doesn't he?
He certainly does, yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's a few faces that we're not entirely used to. Clark Williams running well again. We've seen him doing that in qualifying a few times recently.
We have. He's very, very good. We saw him second on the grid at Lime Rock Park, which was round 9 this season. All the previous footage is there on YouTube if you care to go watch after this particular video, and that is at your own leisure. And he is in 4th place at the moment, actually putting in a faster lap than the multiple champion Mark Mercer for now. Mercer, we know, is a late charger though, tends to leave his qualifying pace till the very end of the session. Might not be the case with Clark Williams, but good to see him so high on the grid. Savidovic puts in the top lap. He is in a 152.8, although looks like he's going to give this run up. Or either that, or was that a racing line there over the blue stuff? Just coming into Young Cow there.
It's over it, but you know, it seems to be one of these things that is you don't pick up a penalty for it in iRacing, and so therefore it's legal to use.
Well, it's interesting that we'll see some cars using that particular line in this race, and other cars not. Some people obviously feel it's quicker. Other people might not know that it's available. But Savidovic taking it very wide there indeed, and a few people that we're not used to seeing too much. Chris Hansen makes his return for this race. Is a Club 100 livery there, one of the many, and should be pointed out that they're running lots of two-man teams rather than all of them in one team. Peter Newman as well. I haven't seen him out on the track before. He is indeed a new man to this particular series. He's in a kind of reggae themed Skip Barber there. I'm making myself hungry now.
I've seen a Red Bull one out there somewhere as well, to make you thirsty.
Should do. Let's try and stay away from that one. Jonathan Rex, a well-known UK&I club member, is taken to the track for this particular round. He's currently in 35th place.
JR! Good old JR! Haven't seen him for ages.
We haven't indeed. Good to see him back out on the track. Jay
Yeah,
Russell
cracking.
just in front of him.
He's
go on.
I was going to say he's one of the stalwarts of UK and I racing on iRacing for quite a long time, and a thoroughly nice fella. It's good to see him back.
He is, and it is, yes. And in the very lucky number 13 car, Jay Russell dropped down to 36 now. Kevin Bowes, haven't seen him out on the track before, I don't believe. You know, we might well have seen half of these guys before, we just got short memories, but never mind. Ashley Blakely makes his return for Team Noob in the 90s Formula 1 Williams livery that he's running at.
Yeah, it's one of your favourites.
It is, yeah. It's not
Plummer's
pink,
having...
but... Plummer's what?
Plummer's having a good run as well, isn't he? He's in P12.
Robert Plumley. That's not Robert Plumley. That's the wrong camera. There we go. He is indeed doing very well. Well, just cursed him a little bit, I think. Just caused a big pile up down at the centre S's. Cars all over the place now. Well done, Plumbers. But he's had a very good season overall. And do you know what? He races in the British Touring Car Championship, and he also races in the Carrera Cup, which is now finished. But he did very well in all of those as well. So he's a bit of a dark horse when it comes to just slowly creeping up behind people, snatching places. Not going to put in a lot of pole times, but still very quick nonetheless.
Yeah, a number of these guys run a couple of those series, and they seem to be sneaking around. But you know, I wonder where you were going with that. Then, saying he quietly sneaks up behind people and is about to snatch things. I was like, all right.
Well, Alex Greenland, who's currently running, well, hasn't set a time, so he's at the bottom of the field. He's left out in the cold at the moment. In number 48 is in position 48, so he's new. I feel like most of the qualifying session spent talking about new people. In fact, there's quite a few out there this time round.
Yep. Welcome to the rookies.
Well, let's hope they turn into regulars as well, because that would be nice. Although we do have a field of 48 cars, so that's going to be... How many was it last season at this particular circuit? It was in the 40s, wasn't it?
I think we'll have 40 odd year mind as well. Let's give it time. But it's a good time, you know. We can chat about the newer guys at the moment, because the quicker guys really don't start. I say that Savidovic has done a 51.8, which is right up there with the qualifying times. Practice times, rather. But I think some of these guys have still got a bit more time to come. Marcus Hamilton been very, very quick all the way through practice.
He has, and those friction racing guys are still all together on the track, which goes to prove two things. They want to get the draft in to improve their times, and also they're all capable of staying on the circuit for quite a long time to get in all these laps, and they'll probably swap. So you'll see Hamilton at the front now, for example. Tom Ward will switch, and then Thomas O'Leary will switch over, and those guys in fact are in 3, 4 and 5 on the grid, so it's going to be a bit of an orange affair near the front of the grid, I believe.
Certainly looks that way, doesn't it? I did say the three of them are running together, and that is paying off for them, isn't it?
It is. At the moment, they have gained a lot of ground on other drivers. They're currently running just ahead of Alex Gillen and George Lambert, who are in 6 and 7. This guy, Chris Simpson, Club 100 Masters, is in 16th, so a good qualifying session for him. And we were talking about Steve Hefford before. Now that some of the other drivers have had their time to get in their flying laps, Hefford yet to break into the 52, so if you're wondering, a low 153 is going to put you about 20th on the grid, which is where Steve Hefford finds himself. Now, as always, whether it's live or recorded, do put your comments into the YouTube comment section. We'd love to hear from you, especially about exactly how this season has played out, because it wasn't guaranteed for Mercer for a long time, but then he started to run away with this just from the sheer pace and determination of his drive. You remember Lime Rock, Matt, where he was hit from behind by his teammate Paul Grillo and then went on to win the race.
Yeah, the one where Paul had his heart in his mouth for about half an hour before he got a private message saying, "Don't worry about it, it's alright."
Foot in the mouth, probably, as well.
A bit of that.
He can get in his mouth. Vittorio Saltalamacchia is out on the circuit once again. Good to see him back from wherever he might have been over the last few rounds. And Dan Hunt as well, the teammate of Team Castrol, Steve Hefford, in the 0.7. He's out there, but only put in a 1:56, so it's not really a flying lap at the moment. But only 4 minutes to go. 4 minutes until these guys head down to the grid. There will be probably about 45, I'm assuming, cars starting this race, so a huge grid once again. Great to see this series is so popular. And look at that, just behind Dan Hunt is the... I can't even think of a word for the livery on that car. Novella Stevens. Suitable adjectives?
Yeah, I don't see why not.
Mind-bending. We'll go with mind-bending livery.
Yeah, it's not when I tried following him. We ran a race at Talladega the other night, and he's got the same one on his NASCAR cars. And I was trying to bump draft him for a while, and after about 5 minutes of it, I had to sort of back off and go with somebody else because it was messing with my eyeballs.
Well, Savidovic has been knocked off pole position by Thomas O'Leary for Friction Racing. A 1:51.7, and that's 0.04 of a second quicker than Savidovic can manage at the moment. Tom Ward is not far behind either. And what about the third driver? Marcus Hamilton's still in 5th place. Stuart Adcock, though, continues to qualify well. And I don't know what Savidovic is doing here. It seems to be taking the green route rather than the dark grey one, which is more conventional. Seems to have found the track again now, anyway. His teammate Rapstin is currently in 11th place. There he is. So, a little bit of work for Little Wodge to do to get back on the same pace as Big Wodge at the moment. But those as we said before, those racing game show drivers.
Well, yeah, and Rapstin is one of those guys who doesn't always necessarily qualify that well, does he? He tends to come through in the race more and makes up places early on. So
yeah, you have a very good point there. Mark Hewitt is out there on the track as well. He is also known as Wheel Damage, and he does some onboard footage as well. So he's probably streaming this race from Twitch, and if you were to go over to Twitch, you'd be seeing something a little bit like this right now, along with his onboard commentary of various colourful words which will emerge from his mouth should anyone collide with him, I'm sure. So yeah, it's good to see actually lots of these guys streaming their own races on Twitch and then putting them on YouTube later on. It just goes to show got all the more power when it comes to what comes to frogs in your throat. When it comes to viewing online sim racing now, there's lots of options available, Matt.
there is, and it's getting better as well next week. Some big arrivals on the service next week.
Really? I think you were leading me into something there, and I didn't quite get your reference.
Well, no, iRacing next week, of course, has 3 or 4 big announcements. The big one today was the signing of the contract with Toyota, so they'll finally have the complete NASCAR lineup of cars. They'll have the Toyota Camrys available.
Well, that's good to hear.
Yep, they've got Circuit of the Americas is released next week, and of course the BMW Z4 GT3.
Do we have release dates for those yet?
Tomorrow, I believe.
Well, excellent. If you're watching recorded, tomorrow would have been the 22nd of April. Just for reference, and a new circuit, so it's pretty much guaranteed that all iRacing racers will be on that circuit for the next week at least, until everyone's a little bit sick of it. But 30 seconds left here in the qualifying session, and once it ends, once the timer goes down, we'll get to finish our laps if any drivers are on any particular laps. Hamilton is 9,000ths of a second now behind O'Leary, and it's an all-friction racing front row. Great qualifying performance. Savidovic has called it a day, so Savidovic is happy with his 3rd place unless Tom Ward can get in there, and it just shows, doesn't it? Driving around in a team group here, Matt, they've done exceptionally well.
Yeah, that has really paid off for them, didn't it?
Well, George Lambert in 10th place at the moment. Let's see what he can do. Clark Williams has only gone down to 7th. Mark Mercer, champion, probably not that bothered. Doesn't need to score any points here, of course, but pride at stake. So he's in 5th place. Maybe would have liked to have been a little bit higher, but if you took friction racing out of the equation, he'd be on the front row. Well, let's see.
It's a great run. Mercer only in 5th, that's a surprise as well. A few guys still to complete laps here, though.
Well, the top four are separated by 600ths of a second, so almost nothing to choose between those guys, which is incredible. Let's have a look. George Lambert's currently in the middle part of his lap here. Oh, big slide from the rear end of that 41 Skip Barber for GR Masters. We're going to have to wait and see how much impact that's going to have. And the colour on the roll bar, I don't know if you can make it out. If you're watching in HD, you probably can. But there's a little coloured strip at the top of the roll bar, which indicates the driver's license class. And it's not much use to you unless you know what colour the iRacing licenses are. Oh, and excuse me, that's the end of Lambert's session. But yeah, anyway, that roll bar indicating the license class. And Simpson over the line. No improvement for Simpson, 17th. Tim Adcock just coming out of Youngstown now, down to the start-finish straight to finish off his Ninja Racing lap. He's in 23rd at the moment. Would love to get that a lot higher. We'll have to see as he comes over the line. Can he beat a 153.3? We're about to find out. The answer's no, 153.6. And just about everybody has now finished. So, well, great performance from Friction Racing, and it looks like they're in a good position to run away with this one, Matt.
They certainly ran well while their line is starting to be different. Just want to see what happens in the race, though, when they've got, the rest of these vultures chasing after him.
And the CNRSs are the scene of, a number of crashes over the years. We've seen that in Formula 1, we've seen that in other disciplines as well, and the Skip Barbers are potentially no different. People have got to be very, very careful around this particular left-right and then left combination, turns 1, 2 and 3. It's downhill, puts the car a little bit on edge, especially with those cold tyres, so these drivers will be watching out for that. Now, look at the size of that grid map.
Yeah, that's a huge field.
Now, the car's actually going off all the way to the right-hand side of the picture there, right round the corner. So, the driver who's starting in 47th on the grid, or 48th maybe, is not actually going to be able to see the driver who is starting on pole position. And drivers have about 2 minutes to grid up. Let's hope nobody does it. Blake Townend, sorry Blake, didn't fail to grid up and miss the race, because this one's going to be really exciting. Also, the level of attrition might be quite high here, so it might well be a good strategy for some of the guys a little bit further back to just stay off the pace and not get themselves tangled up in any messes on the first few laps, and just hold on for people to make pit stops or, withdraw themselves from the race by virtue of damage, shall we say. So, all Friction Racing front row. Third place on the left-hand side of the grid, and the outside of the track is Wojtek Savidovic, and another Friction Racing car there in 4th place. It's tantalising, Matt.
This is going to be good.
Mercer.
I'm going to be away for a couple of seconds yet.
Okie doke. And Mercer is on 5th on the grid. We have some lights now, so let's see what Mercer can do away from the line. Will he push for that instant lead of the race, or will he just sit back and let these guys work it out? Here we go. 48 cars lead the way away from the grid at Interlagos for round 12 of the iRacing Skip Barber series, and that is a fantastic start there from the Friction Racing guys. They're going down into turn 1 as we speak. The midfield looking okay at the moment. Everybody's got to get through this first corner without any kind of carnage, and that is going to be a tough prospect for all of them involved there. Everyone's through so far, 3 wide through the centre S's into midfield. The guys picking up the back sensibly staying off the throttle a little bit there, which is good to see. Just look at all those cars coming down out of turn 3 now. These are led by Thomas O'Leary in a Friction Racing machine with his teammate Marcus Hamilton just behind. This is the view from Tom Ward's car. Savidovic is appearing white. Don't know why he's appearing white, that's interesting. His paint seems to have failed at the last minute. Needs to go back to the spray shop, I think. And Tom Ward is one of 3 of these Friction Racing cars in the top 4 at the moment. There we go, Savidovic's colours are back right now. He's holding on to 3rd place at the moment. And everybody seems to be staying on the track nicely at the moment, which is absolutely great to see. Rob Green there in 14th place, and a move from Rapstead to go around the inside of Maycock. It's going to be the outside for the next corner though. Maycock's going to have to take a very tight line here. Wants to watch out for Alex Gillen just up in front of him there. Rapstin's got him on the inside. So Maycock was just held up long enough there, just by Alex Gillen for Rapstin to get round. Some of the drivers choosing to use a little bit of that green stuff there. Don't necessarily blame them too much if it blue stuff even. Got colourblind for a moment there. Plumley currently running in the 18th spot. It's holding up a solid midfield position right now. And 47 cars in fact, because Ashley Sutton, who was the final car, did not start the race despite having joined the session. And where is James Partridge? James Partridge appears to have disconnected, unfortunately, so I think we've lost him. Back to the front at the moment. I have no idea why it's showing a second, but Marcus Hamilton in second. And down the inside, Mark Mercer out of the centre S's into turn 3. He's got 2 cars in one corner. Mark Mercer past Savidovic. He's just blown past Tom Ward. And now can he hold this advantage against Savidovic as we go down? As we go down into the infield section of the circuit. Watch out, Tom. Almost got into the back of Mercer there, and that's also Stuart Adcock in behind them as well. Well, I'd love to show you exactly on the replay how Mark Mercer managed to get through there, but this is way too exciting to watch as Savidovic mounts the charge to get back past Mercer. This is allowing the 2 Friction Racing drivers up front to get away as well. They're starting to build their gap. Down the inside looks Tom Ward. Savidovic's connection looks a bit shaky as well. He's kind of in and out of existence here. He holds on to the place, but Mercer is already steaming away. That's the view from the back of Savidovic's racing game show machine. That's Ward and Adcock right behind there, and Clark Williams is holding on to 8th place just behind as well. That 09 machine won't have taken lightly to have been overtaken in quite such dramatic fashion by Mark Mercer, that's for sure. Well, let's see if we can go back and have another look, because at this stage Mercer was already through. But this is the end of the last lap here. And we'll have a look, see if we can get a better view of this. Oh, and Savidovic is forced wide there. Looks like a mistake from one of the Friction Racing guys. And there he is, yeah, just straight down the inside. No hesitation from the champion. Takes that position away, and he has now gone into 3rd position. It's showing as 4th, not sure why. It isn't. It is 5th, it's 3rd position rather. And George Lambert is in 7th place, and he has Alan Pearcey right on his tail. Rapstin not too far behind either. Alan Pearcey here on lap 3. Lambert's forcing him round the outside, making him go the long way round. That's probably for the best, for Lambert at least. And can't get the job done, so Lambert remains in 7th place, not 8th place as this thing suggests. We will reset the overlays here because that information is not correct, and it's still wrong. Anyway, Marcus Hamilton and Thomas O'Leary, number 1 and 2 in this race, have been caught pretty quickly as well by 3rd place Mark Mercer. Now the team drafting got them really high on the grid, but only their race pace is going to be able to keep them there, and they're slightly lacking at the moment, it looks like, compared to Mark Mercer, who is looking like he might mount a challenge any moment to get past these guys. 4 laps down. Savidovic is a constant threat though, but he's got his own battle on his hands, because that's Tom Ward and Stuart Adcock still right behind him, and the top 6 are separated by, well, there must be a couple of seconds. I would look at the timing information, but we don't have that. Seems to be some kind of timing problem here. Maybe the info has failed for some reason. Now Mark Mercer. Well, he's down the inside of Marcus Hamilton, round the outside of the centre S's. He's going to be hard pushed to get that lead away from Thomas O'Leary on this particular corner. Marcus Hamilton tries to come back at him. He's got Stuart Adcock right behind, who slipped past Savidovic. Now down the inside, here's Marcus Hamilton. Tries to take that 2nd place back from Mark Mercer. Too wide as we go down into turn 4 here. Mercer's got to leave him racing room here. Oh, Mercer's off. Just a little bit riding over the edge of those curbs there. And Savidovic, you can see him there in the back, has dropped behind Ward as well. Now Hamilton is on the outside, but here comes Stuart Adcock down the inside. He's got Hamilton. Can he get Mercer as well? Mercer closes the door in his face, and O'Leary holds on to the lead somehow. Too wide. Almost, yes. Hamilton's going to sneak down the inside of Adcock, take that place back. But he's on the outside for the next corner. Adcock's only got to hold on to this corner to keep that position. And those two Friction Racing teammates almost came together there. Tom Ward bringing up the rear of the Friction Racing train at the moment. Savidovic just behind. Great racing from these guys, and finally our positions are correct once again. But Savidovic, who started third in this race, and his paint scheme is still not working properly, is now down to 6th. He's holding on to the back of these guys, but some of these guys are running 151s in race trim, which is an excellent pace, and Savidovic is just outside that in the 52s. This is where the draft comes into play. Going down to the centre S's once again as we start lap number 5. Mercer's got the outside line this time. O'Leary's going to hold it on the inside. He's going to try and cut across the track now. And yeah, it does a good job of holding that on. But Adcock has slipped past Marcus Hamilton once again. He's in 3rd position. And, oh, sorry, Adcock's in 4th position, I should say. And Hamilton has to settle for 5th right now. O'Leary under threat from Mercer. Stuart Adcock's trying to follow him through, but here comes Hamilton down the inside as well. Every one of these drivers has got to keep track of every other one on this track where they're racing in such close proximity. That white car is still the unpainted Savidovic car for some reason. Now Mercer down the inside, looks to take this racing lead. He's already won the championship. He doesn't need the points. He's just doing this for pure pride, and what a lot of it he takes as well, as he takes the race lead away from O'Leary. Finally, Stuart Adcock will follow down the inside. Tries to snatch 2nd place away. O'Leary's got other ideas. He's coming back. Adcock. Wheel-to-wheel racing here from Interlagos in the Skip Barber series, and no contact from the top 6, despite them being very, very close to each other on the circuit as well. O'Leary seems to have no answer to Adcock's pace right now. Tries to stick one up the inside. That could have been nasty, but Adcock was wise to it, left a little bit of room there. The draft is really going to come into play here as we go on board with Thomas O'Leary, and once again those positions are wrong. Timing information is not working this evening, so O'Leary in 5th at the moment, just as Tom Ward sneaks past his Friction Racing teammate there. Mark Mercer leads this race after 5 laps. We're going on to lap 6 now. One of the most crucial corners on the circuit. Get the car slowed down. Down the downhill section into the right-hander, and then keep the car as close to the inside line as possible here. Thomas O'Leary managing a great job of that over on lap 6. Savidovic is going to come under threat now. Stuart Adcock is going to come under threat now, rather, from Tom Ward, who is just in front of O'Leary here. Mercer might well run away with this one. He's got the pace. We know he's got the pace. We've seen him do it before here at Interlagos. He is now half a second ahead, but these guys are still neck and neck. These Friction Racing boys need to work together if they want to get back to the front of the field and get back past Stuart Adcock, because they're only going to slow each other down if they keep going too wide like this. Wide round the outside goes Tom Ward. Thomas O'Leary. They're still side by side, the two Toms, the two Friction Racing drivers. Savidovic has clung to the back of this group. His Wojtek teammate Rapstin is gaining on these guys, so they are shedding time by having this little scrap. As we're nearing the halfway point of this race now, Savidovic is staying in the battle, but not showing like he's showing any kind of potential for getting past these guys just yet. That might change as we come down, start-finish straight once again to start another lap of this circuit. Now you'll see some of these drivers actually crossing the pit entry here, and and they're well inside the pit lane and over the dividing line there, which would be an instant penalty if this was a Formula 1 race, but this is a different formula entirely. Down into turn 1. Good view from... Oh no, contact! That's Stuart Adcock. Adcock has been collected there by, well, one of the Friction Racing cars, and that is his race done, surely. I think they all get back on the circuit except for poor old Stuart Adcock. Let's go back and have another look at that. That's the 09 of Tom Ward there. Just coming around on the inside is Marcus Hamilton. It looks like the mistake from Hamilton. Tried to get a bit greedy perhaps, or maybe Stuart Adcock didn't see him on the turn in. Too many orange cars behind him and he is rolling over. It's almost like Hamilton's done a Maldonado there. And that's not good news. Not only that, the paint's coming off his car and going straight back on it again to make matters even worse. Well, let's have another look at that one from Marcus Hamilton's point of view if we can. So just coming down the start-finish straight, going on to lap number 7 here. Hamilton sees the opportunity on the inside. He's on the brakes. Well, I've got to say, Hamilton had nowhere else to go, really. It was his business to stick his nose in there, and it looks like perhaps Adcock just didn't see him and turned in, didn't give enough room there. I'm sure both drivers will have their own view of that. So let's get back to the racing, because Mark Mercer now has a 2-second advantage over Hamilton after that fracas down at the centre S's. Hamilton is being chased by Savidovic, who slipped past some of the Friction Racing guys, and Rapston joins him as well. Rapston on the outside at the back of your picture here, tries to go round the outside of Marcus Marcus Hamilton. In fact, that was Tom Ward he's gone around the outside of. Too many orange cars here. So Tom Ward is down to 6th place. And who's that coming out of the pits there? It's one of the back markers just coming out. Wisely stays out of the way of this hitched battle here. Rapston on the inside of Savidovic now takes the position away from his teammate. Now, was that strategy, or did he just get the better of Savidovic? But he's run a little bit wide, and that's going to allow Savidovic back in, but he's going to be on the right hand side here. Tom Ward just lurking behind, tries to follow Rapston through. He's got up the inside of Savidovic. Savidovic is having to go very wide round here. Rapston defending the inside line here. Little nudge from Tom Ward there. Thomas O'Leary, rather. Still getting confused with these guys. Tom Ward is a little way back now. He's behind these guys. So Thomas O'Leary still in this battle in a Wodge sandwich. Rapston in front of him. Savidovic behind him. Hamilton holding on to 2nd place at the moment. Although Hamilton will be wondering if that collision with Stuart Adcock might have been avoidable. Stuart Adcock will be wondering the same thing, and he is now trying to have a look, see if I can find him on the scoreboard. Yeah, he's retired. So Stuart Adcock is out of this race. Well, 9 laps down, we're coming on to lap number 10 right now. The score sheet showing no signs of being up to date, so that's still out by 1 position. Not entirely sure why. And Rapston holds his position into the centre S's. That's O'Leary behind him, and Savidovic just behind him as well. But Hamilton is coming under a little bit of pressure now. That gap forward to Mark Mercer is now 2.5 seconds. You can see that on your screen there. Mark Mercer's going to have to battle with a little bit of traffic in a moment, but no worse than these guys as well. And Rapston looking for a way past Marcus Hamilton, but can't quite do it. The 2 Wodgers with the 2 Friction Racing guys. There's nothing to choose between them. Oh, Rapston tries to make it 3 wide. Thinks better of that, perhaps for the best there, Matt.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm trying to watch as much as I can. We've had some carnage early on, haven't we? Some fairly big moments. Mark Mercer, meanwhile, is probably just running around trying as best he can to keep out of everybody's way.
Well, it's no challenge to Mark Mercer. He's now He's now 4 seconds ahead of Hamilton because of this battle going on behind here. Rapstin down the inside of Hamilton will take the second position. Great driving by Rapstin. He's forced his way through this field. He's got past his teammate. He's got past both of the Friction Racing guys. And now, Friction Racing, from starting first, second and fourth on the grid, are down to what amounts to third, fourth and sixth. So all three of them still in the running, but the same can't be said for Stuart Adcock, who unfortunately we saw him, I said earlier, we saw him get Maldonado'd by Marcus Hamilton, which is not how he wanted his season to end. I'm sure he's now retired from the race, but look at the distance between everyone else and Mark Mercer now. Can anyone stop Mercer now?
I can't see it. What is going on with the timing, though?
Well, the timing is completely out. So, unfortunately, everyone's a position down from where they actually are in real life. Can't exactly say why. I seem to be unable to account for that. Let's have another look further down the field, though.
I've got Ellis Stevens in first and Mark Mercer in second.
As have I, but that's obviously not correct, because Stevens started a considerable way down the field and didn't overtake Mark Mercer.
I've got Mark Mercer in front of Marcus Hamilton.
That's correct. He is. He is 4 seconds ahead of Marcus Hamilton right now.
So Mark Mercer is the leader?
He is, yes.
Right.
In the number 33 PH Racing machine. Hamilton still in this battle, this fierce battle. He's got back past Rapstin now. O'Leary behind Rapstin and Savidovic behind him. Tom Ward has dropped off. He's 2 seconds behind now. But there's still battles going on all over the field here. Chris Hansen is duking it out with Mark Hewitt, and this is for 14th place. So Chris Hansen has it from Hewitt just at the moment. Tim Adcock is in 16th, but Adam Barth and Rob Green are just behind. Rob Green not doing so well, Matt. He's normally a lot higher than 19th, so probably the lack of front wing on that Skip Barber indicates some kind of trouble.
Yeah, that would certainly indicate some sort of contact, unless the timing's gone hiccup that badly as well.
Well, let's see how Rob Green can do, because he should have more pace than these guys. He's currently running a second a lap quicker from 18th, so I imagine he's had contact or spun at some point in the track, probably the former, judging by the lack of front wing. He's got Adam Barth in the draft. He's going to line him up over the start-finish straight and try and make this pass down into the centre S as Barth sticks to the left-hand side to try and defend this line. Rob Green really wants the inside here. Well, Barth's moved over and just given it to him. Personally wouldn't have done that, but whatever. He's maybe he knew that Green was a faster driver there, I don't know. And Green now sets his sights on Tim Adcock, who is just behind Mark Hewitt. It's a close battle, this one, over 14th place. Also, Tom Stanley is duking it out with Rob Burton, who's also lost his front wing. And if there's ever a front wing missing that wouldn't surprise me, it would be Robert Burton's, I guess. But Tom Stanley's got to be careful there. Ooh, almost lost his own front wing on the tyres of Robert Burton's machine there. But those two having a really good scrap. Stanley and Green.
You just know with Rob that if ever there was a black flag was invented for anyone.
That's the origin of the black flag rule, in case you were wondering at home. Should look that one up.
The origin of the black flag is Rob Burton.
Tom Stanley around the outside, but remember this will be the inside as we come into number 6. The 961 machine, the green of Tom Stanley, is going to take this position back from Rob Burton. And that's Phil Piercy just behind in the red car as well.
Rapstin and Thomas O'Leary are having an absolute dogfight up here.
Well,
I think when everybody else is trying to play, while everybody else is playing Queensbury rules, these two have decided to go full on Muay Thai, I think. They are smacking lumps out of each other.
It's 3 wide down to the centre S as Rapstin on the inside. They're going to have to be very careful here. That's Hamilton. And O'Leary's just coming through at the back of this group, been passed by Savidovic. Savidovic looks up the inside of Marcus Hamilton.
They got wodged well and truly there, didn't they?
They got double wodged, didn't they? Fantastic. the racing game show guys. No love lost between these guys either. So Rapston on the inside. Savidovic will try and hold this one around the outside. They're jerking all over the track, trying to find the best position for turn number 4. There's a bit of a bent wing on the back of Rapston's car, and Savidovic goes wide. Now that's, oh, down the inside. Is that O'Leary? Yeah, that's O'Leary down the inside, but it's not going to help him because he'd have the long way round in the next corner. Nose to tail, Marcus Hamilton looking down the inside. Rapston, oh, a little twitch. I don't think there was contact there. I think he might have just lost that on his own. Didn't lose too much time, in actual fact. Let's go back and have a little look at that one from the onboard of Rapston, and this is the rear view from his car. That's Thomas O'Leary as they come round this very high-speed bend. Yeah, just a little twitch from Rapston, lost control momentarily. Rare mistake there from Rapston.
Is it? I've seen him make quite a few, to be honest. He's always a little tiny bit wild.
Yeah, he's definitely wild, but normally I imagine his contact comes as his pain comes from contact rather than self-inflicted mistakes. But we saw that come to a head at Mid-Ohio last season, if you remember that one.
I do. That was where Rapston got a little bit ambitious going into the uphill hairpin, didn't he?
He did indeed. In actual fact, his passing skills have been unsurpassed, really, in this race up until this point. So we're nearing the end of this race now. Down the inside goes Savidovic, and Hamilton follows him. Mark Mercer is running away with this. He's absolutely miles in the lead. But I'm wondering if it's not just the timing system that we're using here at BSR TV that's out. If iRacing itself is out, does that mean that Ellis Stevens is going to get the credit for the win?
I suspect that they will sort it out somehow, the series admins, because they'll know what's going on.
How has he managed to do that? That's a bit of voodoo right there. Well, we'll show you what you mean at home. We'll bring out the positions here, and Ellis Stevens is clearly marked as being 35 seconds ahead of Mark Mercer, which is absolutely not the case. No, I don't think Mark Mercer's been 35 seconds behind any leader in any race that he's finished.
Yeah, with big respect to Ellis, who is did very well for us in the World Cup on the weekend in the oval side, was top scorer on the UK and I team for that win, so well done Ellis. But yeah, in a Skip Barber he is not quick enough to be 35 seconds ahead of Mark Mercer.
Not slow either, worth saying, and you never know, he might have put everybody else on the track off by having to look at his car, forced them into mistakes, but he is running out there on his own and he's behind a fair number of people. Now that battle with Tom Stanley, Stanley's managed to pull away from Rob Burton, and now Burton is under pressure from Phil Piercy. Piercy's looking down the inside here. Not always a good idea to go down the inside at 5 here, Matt, because it puts you on the outside. Oh, a little bit of contact there. Burton surely knows that Piercy... Is he just trying to force Piercy out wide there? Well, he gets the job done.
Yeah.
And Ken Bolekbasi is currently running in the 28th spot. Looks like we've just lost Chris Hansen though, and what's happened to Chris Hansen? Can we go back and have another look at that one on the replay perhaps? Let's see what we've got. I don't see any Chris Hansen. There he is. The Club 100 driver with the green tip on his car there. Just coming down the inside. Oh, he's made contact with the 34 there, which is that the 24? That is the 24, that's Cam Stark. So Stark not aware of his presence there, and those two tangling. That's a shame, isn't it? He was doing very well, Chris Hansen, and Cam Stark as well, both doing very well there, but that is the end of both of their races, I do believe. We've got 3 laps left here. Mercer has now extended a 5-second gap, but these guys are still fighting. Must be knackering to have to do this kind of racing for 16 laps, man.
It's, yeah, I don't know how they find the time or the effort, to be honest.
Rather just go down the pub, have a pint.
Absolutely.
Which I'm sure they might well be settling into a few beers after this one, I can tell you. The number 80 of Savidovic has it at the moment, and that's changing on a corner-by-corner basis because Marcus Hamilton is right behind him. And interestingly, Rapston has now fallen behind, thanks to that little twitch that he had. So he's put in a huge amount of hard work to get past all 4 of those cars, and one mistake there, a little bit of feedback from the Skip Barber, sent him a little bit wide and cost him those 3 positions. And we've seen this time and time again at the front of this series. It's widely credited as being one of the top series because of this kind of racing right at the front. And in fact, over a lot of the field. And these guys can go toe to toe for so many laps without making contact. We saw, unfortunately, some contact with Adcock before. But I wouldn't be able to race this close to anybody, I can tell you, not for that long. A couple of corners maybe. Rapstin dives down the inside of Thomas O'Leary, takes one of those positions back. It's a close shave though. Now down the inside of Savidovic goes Marcus Hamilton. He's got the line for this corner. Savidovic is going to take it a lot wider. Hamilton had a lot more room to play with on the inside there than he used. That's going to cost him because Savidovic is going to get the run, and he knew it. Savidovic deliberately went as wide as possible there. He's taken an excellent line to get back on the inside of Hamilton and takes the position back. Well, 2 laps left. It's anyone's game at the moment for second place. Don't think there's any question now. Mark Mercer has won yet another race. Down the inside, Hamilton. Can't make that one stick, surely. And Rapstin's sticking his nose in. I was going to say where it doesn't belong, but it most certainly does, based on the pace that he's been showing in this race. Hamilton under real pressure, but he's held on for this entire race. And do you know, I'm surprised, Matt, that after making contact with Stuart Adcock's car, or was it O'Leary?
One of them, wasn't it? It was one of the friction boys, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was one of the orange cars.
Oh, they're saying that. There's 3 of them again.
There are. Tom Ward has rejoined this battle. But in any case, Hamilton holds onto his front wing.
Rapstin's car is the one that looks completely duffed up, isn't it?
Yes. Although the incident that cost him the places was not the incident in which he duffed up his car, as you put it. Very, very close to the wall there. Tom Ward could have been nasty going into that wall at over 100 miles an hour. But Tom Ward sails down the inside of both his teammate and Rapstin. Is going to take these 2 positions, is he? 3 wide through the centre S's almost. O'Leary's desperate to hold on to that position from Rapstin, and Rapstin is going to be the loser this time round as Tom Ward made that look easy. Now back marker is just in front of Savidovic and Hamilton, and this is the same situation as last time, but Hamilton's taking this one wider. He still had yet more room on that particular corner. He's used his car as a shield to keep Savidovic from that pace that he showed there on that corner last lap. And Rapstin is still battling with the Friction Racing boys in the background. Stay with this one right now because we are on the last lap, unless that timing info is wrong as well. Mark Mercer is now moments away from yet another victory in this series. He just seems to go from strength to strength this season, Matt.
It certainly does, mate.
And Mark Mercer is now going to round Yunkao and start the ascent. He's already won the championship. He doesn't need the points. We've said this before. But that number 33 car has seen a lot of action this season. Most of it from the front of the field. His PH Racing team.
It's the right way to seal a title, isn't it?
With a win, absolutely. No doubt about that. There were some doubts when he started 5th on the grid as to whether he had the pace to win this race. And I've got a feeling the scrapping behind, look how pleased he is as he swoops across the track to claim yet another victory. Mark Mercer wins, and I've got a feeling, well, who's going to take this? Savidovic, just, I think, from Hamilton, then O'Leary, then Ward, and Rapstin loses out, I think. Although I don't trust any of the timing information now, as Alex Gillen comes over the line 8th, Alan Piercy 9th, Antoniades 10th, Cowan, Plumley 12th, great result, Simpson, Child, and then Adcock. Adcock is going to be fighting with Rob Green and Mark Hewitt as we come over the line. I don't think either of them got the legs on their Skip Barbers to make that work down the start-finish straight. They're both going to have a try anyway. Tim Adcock, oh, they've already crossed the line in fact, so Tim Adcock takes it. And the timing info is all over the place now. I don't know if we're going to be able to trust these, but we'll see what happens anyway. So, that's what we have. Ellis Stevens most certainly didn't win the race, although it's showing that he did. And is iRacing actually showing the same information there, Matt?
It is. Ellis Stevens, Mark Mercer, and then after Rabstin, I've no idea who's finished where, because there's some people all over the place. But if it is right, Rob Plumley's come home in 12th, so that's a good result for Rob.
Well, it's at 11th though, because I'm sure Stevens won't be able to claim that victory.
I can't believe that there's only one car that's jumped out of the way, so I'm not sure. It's possible there are some others as well.
Well, that is a very interesting technical end to the season, because it's definitely not those results. But Mark Mercer wins it anyway. Mark Mercer should be one position higher there. Marcus Hamilton did very well to hold on from second under extreme pressure from both Rapstin and Savidovic. Savidovic fourth in the end, shows why he is one of the top drivers in this series, and is also rumoured to be joining the touring cars, the newly named BSRTC, which was called the BTCC, which is be interesting.
Yep, that's going to be a real good series next season.
We'll try and get some confirmation on that. All the news and updates in the mid-season are on bsrtv.net, as well as all the standings and all the other races and everything to do with BSR TV is on our website, bsrtv.net. If you have enjoyed watching this race, by the way, give us a subscription on YouTube. It's the biggest kind of praise you can give us, and we will love you forever as a result. Tom Ward takes 5th place. Very hard fought battle. I didn't think he'd get back into it once he started to drop back. O'Leary 6th, Rapstin 7th, although Rapstin would have thought that perhaps he deserved it a little bit higher. Look at the time difference, Matt, between Tom Ward and Thomas O'Leary. Almost nothing.
That is, yeah, that's about the length of a Skip Barber wing, isn't it?
And the same thing with 8th and 9th there, as Gillen and Piercy separated by a hair's width, I think. 0.114 to 0.160. Antoniades 10th there, Cowan 11th, Plumley 12th, as we've mentioned. And those are the rest of the results. Good result for Paul Lee to come home in 19th place in this particular race as well.
Yep, cracking results. You have to excuse me, my voice is absolutely dead.
I think we are going to wrap up this broadcast fairly soon, because Matt Dalton is sounding a bit like an ugly toad at the moment.
Thanks. I probably look a bit like one as well.
Well, I wasn't going to go that far, but seeing as you took it there, yeah. So,
thanks.
12 rounds of fantastic racing this season from these guys in the Skip Barber series. Big thanks to Alan Patterson for organising this, putting the series together on a Monday night. Entries are open if you're in the UK and iRacing club and you fancy getting involved in this next season. Grid space might well be limited, judging by exactly how many people have turned up for this particular race, but fantastic to see these large grids nonetheless. And we're looking forward to another season. Is that fair to say?
Yep. It'd be good to see a few more of these rookies back next year, and some more of the established guys, and hopefully the likes of Paul Grillo and our Martin Peck will possibly be back next season as well, which would be good. I know we've lost Blake, which is a shame, but
yes,
it'd be interesting to see how he does in the BSR TC traction control ABS, whatever the hell they decide to call it, series as well.
BSRTC Radicals Online entering their own team in that, which you can see on Thursdays. There won't be any this Thursday because this is the middle of the off season, but from Thursday the 2nd of May, that new season will be starting up, and we will be here to cover that one for you. The Radicals Online team join the swathe of talented drivers that are going to be joining that series. Hoog returns for another series, Rushworth, Stevens is back, Adam Terry, Chepalewski, Andreas Katz. I could go on listing these guys all day, but I'll save you the trouble. All the footage from last season of this particular series and of the touring cars and of the Carrera Cup is on our YouTube page. So, thanks to everyone who took part in this series and made it quite as entertaining as it was. And it really was, and thanks for everyone who tunes in every week and watches this and supports the channel. So big thanks to everyone involved. And we will see you in 2 weeks for the start of the new season.